you thinking? Tell me just what's on your mind. What you drinking? Is that whiskey on your breath? I smell it, baby. Let me buy you another round. 'Cause what it looks like and what you look like is that this happens all the time.
LA, what's up? This is Ray Barbon coming at you again from the Showtime Forum podcast, and this is episode 20, and this is actually going to be our final episode of our first season. So we're going to go on a brief hiatus. We'll be gone for about 30 to 60 days. But in the meantime, here with us today, we got the one and only Mr. Greg Bergman, obviously, Mr. Showtime Forum, Mr. Mason in Ireland, Mr. MPG Sausage Jeans. But what's my nickname for you, dude?
Let's not go with him. Go with MPG. I don't want to hear any of that sausage jeans nonsense anymore. That is
the Jewish. I'm sorry. It's the Jewish.
You can say whatever you want to do, but the sausage jeans just does not exist anymore. That was the day that nickname left was the happiest day of my life.
I hear it, but I don't even know where it comes from, to be honest with you.
I'll give you the 30-second reasoning for it. Okay. Sausagen was an astronomer during the time when leap day, he made leap day. He was the one that figured out that there had to be a leap day and leap years. So they were talking about that. Mason Island were talking about it. They couldn't get it right, and Mason just kept saying sausage jeans. I don't even understand what that means. And they finally just went past it. Later on in the show, I went in both their ears, and it was right when I first got there. And when both their ears and I said rap, and they both turned to me at the exact same time and said, "Shut up, sausage jeans," and that was the end of it. That's how it came.
All right.
All right. Well, it had nothing to do with me whatsoever. They just decided that I was sausage jeans.
Yeah, well, all right. You know what? I'll never bring it up again. All right. From now on, you'll just be like, right. You'll be the Bergman. All right. The Bergman.
That's fine. I get that all the time.
Well, alongside the Bergman today, we have Mykell the PG from Courtside Radio. What's going on, Mykell?
Man, what's up with you guys, man? Thank you so much for having me. Make sure you guys go and follow me. Listeners, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Mykell the PG. Download the Good News Radio app where you can listen to the Courtside Radio. And then you can find me again on Don't At Me with Mykell and Alex.
So I want to thank you for coming out here. Obviously, I don't need to thank Greg because Greg lives here. So, nobody needs to thank him for this.
This is my apartment. But yeah, I mean... And I guess Showtime Forum, yeah. So, yeah, you should be thanking me for coming on and talking to you still.
Appreciation.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Other than you, blowing me up at 1 a.m. about content,
Hey, we need that content.
No, I know. I mean, we got that content because it's been kind of slow, but, I mean, we've had a I don't know, I guess pretty exciting last maybe 72 hours or so with, obviously, now we got a reserve center on the books now with Dwight Howard. We have Kuzma pulling out or getting cut from the USA basketball team, whichever way you want to put it. Yeah. But the big story this weekend that broke was the fact that Dwight Howard has returned to the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, I know it seems like 90% of Laker fans are just like burn Dwight Howard at the stake right now, and I think leading the charge right now is probably going to be Greg more than anybody else.
Well, I mean, I remember when I found out about it, what actually happened. I was on Mason in Ireland. Mason was on vacation or whatever. And someone came in and said, "You guys see the Shams article?" And I said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." So on the air, I was like, "I got something from Shams." And I went on and I just started reading it, not knowing what it was going to say. And it said, Dwight Howard has signed a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. And as soon as I finished, I went, no, of course it had to be him. I'm disappointed, man. Like this, Dwight Howard is a guy that I feel like has been here before. And I don't even care about his earlier time with the Lakers. I just know what he does to a locker room from what we've read. I know that he's talked over and over and over again for at least the last 7 years about being humble. Because all of a sudden now he's humble. I just don't see it. And I would have preferred somebody else along the lines of a Joakim Noah or even a Kenneth Faried.
Yeah, and I just feel that, man, he left the Lakers the first time, and that's always going to hurt because he kind of closed the window on Kobe Bryant's career as far as winning championships because we really thought he was going to help him along with Gasol, that we were going to have a team that can win. And then you look at him now, I just think that the Lakers needed some toughness, needed a big man that can kind of play make. That was just going to give them some grittiness, and that's why I was hoping Joakim Noah. And then the second guy I was hoping for was Mo Spates. Just the fact that with Boogie, We thought Boogie would give us some shooting and such, and we won't have that with Dwight Howard. He can't make free throws. He has some of the worst post moves I've ever seen. So it's just like, we're stuck with this guy hoping that him being alongside LeBron and AD will allow him to, play his role as best as the Lakers need. And I'm just not sure if he can do that for us.
But I heard he's been working on his 3-point shot. Guys, you guys are not ecstatic to see JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard just letting them just rip from behind three.
If that's what we're watching, if we're watching JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard shooting threes in a game, we're in major trouble. That means you're down by like 25 points, and the season is just going completely awkward. I don't want to see Dwight Howard shooting a 3-pointer unless there's like a second less on the shot clock and he happens to be behind the 3-point line for whatever reason. He shouldn't be back unless he's running up court because he was late getting back. That's about it.
Hey, I don't even want to see him shoot a 3 then. Just take the shot clock off.
Well,
Same thing.
You know what I'm thinking of is I think Andrew Bynum was ahead of the time, right? When he was trying to shoot threes before we let him go. Weren't we on him about trying to develop his range the whole time? We should have just held on to Bynum.
Bynum had game. It's just his body broke down. So
Yep.
I think a little bit of his mind broke down before that body broke down, to be honest.
I think that's it. That's it. The mind broke down, and this is why, like, the same thing with Dwight Howard. I don't think people are really thinking about what the mind has actually done to him. He's saying that he is at the bottom of the barrel, that he's never been lower in his life, and he's expecting to just be humbled now by all of this, and everything's going to be okay. If you're at the very bottom, your mind is thinking, I got to get back to the top. No, you're at the bottom, man. Like you have been on 7 teams in like 8 years or 6 teams in 7 years, whatever it happens to be. And that is just showing the NBA. And I think it was one of the Kamenetsky said it, but the NBA tells you who you are. The NBA tells you when you are no longer wanted on the floor. Carmelo Anthony, NBA told him, you are not welcome in the NBA anymore. The NBA is telling you, Dwight Howard, you do not belong in the NBA anymore. And so, look, I'll give it to him. If he comes out and he plays well and he accepts his role and he gives us, whatever numbers that he gives us, he plays 5 minutes one night, he plays 25 minutes the next night, fine. I'll be okay with it and I'll eat my words. But as of right now, I don't believe it's possible.
I think that he can help, and the number one issue or the thing that's going to help him is LeBron James. LeBron James is going to make sure that he gets easy baskets. He's a different type of leader than Kobe Bryant. And, they have the connection from playing in the Olympics together. You have Anthony Davis. You have JaVale McGee. So he's not going to be dependent on to be 12 and 10, something like that. He's going to be part of a rotation. And then Lakers can even play small ball by having Kuz play some big minutes. So I just think with him being a piece of the pie, that he can work out. It's a non-guaranteed contract. So if he sucks, you can just get rid of him really quick and just move forward. So he has everything to lose. Like if he don't play well with the Lakers this season, it's probably his last time being in the NBA. He's going to be playing. He's going to become a Drew League player every summer. Or he's going to be playing in China.
Be in the Big Three. He'll be up in the Big Three, man, just dominating.
Yeah.
He doesn't dominate anything.
Damn, Greg.
Here's the thing. Like Mykell, you're saying that he's not expected to get these things. He doesn't need to be. He's never been okay with that. And fine, he does have a different type of leader than Kobe was in LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but still, and there's other guys around him. But the fact of the matter is he going to be okay with that role that he is coming in here to play? And I don't think that that's ever going to happen for him. He's always going to think he's better than what he actually is. And look, I get it. It's a non-guaranteed contract. If they just let him go because he does something stupid and you lose nothing for it, fine. But the problem is, you've also already probably missed out. Maybe Noah signs with you later on, but now you've missed out on Noah, Fareed, Spates, who I don't think he actually plays any defense, so I'm not a big fan of Spates. But so all those guys that you named that you also would have liked, they may not be around. And if those guys are not around, then you've given up all of those guys for a possibility that Dwight Howard's going to do something that he's never been able to do in his career, and that's play a role.
That's the tricky part. But I mean, at what point? I mean, you could have kind of said the same thing about Andre Iguodala, right? I mean,
he's been a role player. He was a role player with Allen Iverson before.
I mean, before he got shipped off to Golden State, I wouldn't say he was a role player. He was the focal point of that Sixers offense for several seasons. After Iverson. Yes. Yeah. One AI to the other. But I mean, I get what you guys are saying. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm like Team Dwight or anything like that, but
you're there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm leading the train, but I'm leading it because it's going straight to a championship, man. I don't care what Dwight's doing on the sidelines or whatever. As long as he's giving me 10 and 8 on a regular basis, I'm cool with that because that's all I need. Because yes, as much as I love Joakim Noah's like passion and his grit and his hustle and all that stuff, I mean, he's pretty worn down. Same thing with Mo Spates. I like Mo Spates. He'll space the floor a little better, but he also walks around like he's got concrete inside his shoes. So that's kind of tough on defense, right? Yeah. But for me, Dwight, there's a lot of ifs and buts, but he's doing what he's supposed to do. The one thing he's always done is he talks wherever he goes. He went to Houston. Oh, I'm going to learn from Mykell and from Olajuwon. Yeah, he came to LA. It was Kareem, all that stuff, right? He's always talked a good game, but at least this time he's putting his money where his mouth is, because I believe he didn't get paid out anything. He didn't get bought out at all by the Grizzlies, right? Or he didn't earn anything in that buyout?
It was 5-3. He went down to 2-6. So yeah. I don't think
Well, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's still something, I guess. But I'm hoping that he can do something. But if he doesn't, then whatever, man. We cut him and we move on. And like Mykell said, this is the end of Dwight Howard's career, pretty much, in the U.S. of A. I'm assuming, at least. But
and what's going to help is hopefully, with his back is against the wall. It's like only can play well and help his team, because like I said, it's gonna be it. So it's like hopefully just that feeling of, man, this may be it for me. So I need to give everything I can. I got this team, and the difference with those other teams he played for, Charlotte, Washington, Atlanta, they weren't title contenders like the Lakers are now, where he sees LeBron, he sees AD. He sees Rondo. His crazy thing is, this is pretty much the 2010 Eastern Conference All-Stars. Rondo and LeBron. So hopefully that magic can help them out on the court, man. They can put it together.
Yeah. So you're talking about, well, sorry, just 1 second. I need to compose myself here for just a second because it's funny. You're talking about all these different teams that he went to, and then it was different. Like, he went to Houston thinking that was a championship contending team. That was James Harden, and that he was supposed to be that piece that moved them forward. Washington, with Bradley Beal and John Wall, before John Wall got hurt, was supposed to be a wrecking crew in the East. They were supposed to make it pretty far in the East, and it just all kind of fell apart. And we're sitting here hoping that this guy is going to be the next, savior, when we only want him for 5 minutes. But even if he only plays 5 minutes, like, is he going to be okay with that? And we've done this before. We've actually played this game before. We did it last year. I hope Michael Beasley can come on and play the role that we want him to. I hope that Lance Stevenson can come on and play the role that we want him to. I hope we can get Rajon Rondo to play the role that we wanted to. It doesn't work like that with some of these guys.
Hold on.
Wait. I'll give you your time in just a second. But Dwight Howard has never done that. Not at any point in his career has he done what he has said he is going to do. He came to LA to be a savior. He left LA. Who leaves LA? You don't leave the Lakers. I'm sorry. Nobody does.
Yeah.
And he fell apart afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, so give me what you were going to say now. I had to get that across.
I was just saying, I mean, we got one guy that's kind of the equalizer in this entire scenario, this go around, and that's Rajon Rondo. Because if anybody needs, Dwight to kind of just shut for a second, then just let Rondo take a good left jab at him, and that's the end of that. But
and then he's gone. So you wasted him there. Bye.
Well, I'm saying, I mean, but dude, the hatred so this is exactly what I was kind of wondering for the last couple of days. Like, the amount of, like, I don't want to say hatred, but animosity that people have for Dwight, to me, is just so, it's perplexing, because I can't put two fingers on an actual thing that he did other than just say, you know what, LA is not the place for me. And I mean, rightfully so. Him and Kobe were not working, Why would he want to stay? I get it. As Laker fans, we're not used to getting shunned, but the amount of hate this guy gets makes me think, like, would people rather have, like, Paul Pierce sign with the squad or, like, Dwight Howard at this point? Because it's kind of a toss-up, it seems sometimes.
It's just the fact that Lakers is usually the destination that everybody is trying to move towards. And this guy, you got here, and we're like, okay, we got Dwight Howard. Now we should be good to go for the next few years with Kobe and Powell and, Phil. And then you just leave. You know what I'm saying? And, like, the Lakers is like the star quarterback in high school. He gets that hot chick who's been trying to date him for a while. And then all of a sudden she just leaves. Like, no one is going to believe that story. Like, how did that happen? And that's how, the fans are. We're like, this guy left us. Now we have to accept him back, hoping that he can be a piece that can help us. And that's what makes it tough, to where if we go get Joakim or Fareed or Gortat or any of those guys, it's something new. So it's like we're going to accept it even better.
Look, and here's the thing. I mean, just so you're understanding, Ray, it's not – you can take everything that he did with the Lakers, and that's plenty reason to hate the guy and not want him to be on the Lakers now. And you can push it all aside. Push it all aside. It means nothing anymore. Now let's look at what's happened to him in his career since then.
Okay.
Nothing. He's been terrible everywhere he's gone. He's been a locker room cancer everywhere that he's gone. He's been on 6 teams in 7 years because they don't like him there. Let me just make this perfectly clear.
Damn.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Hey.
The Charlotte Hornets rather play Timofey Mozgov than play Dwight Howard. Tell me why we want to get a guy who thinks he's going to all of a sudden change when you would rather play Timofey Mozgov over Dwight Howard. I'm sorry.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that was the bottom of the barrel for him when he got Mozgov.
No, he went to more teams after that.
But hey, we have to remember that the Lakers have 3 head coaches pretty much. You have Frank Vogel, Lionel Hollins. So you will hope that they will be able to work together. I heard that Jason Kidd had a big part in Dwight Howard becoming a Laker.
Yeah.
So Jason Kidd is already talking to him. I know LeBron is preparing a Taco Tuesday video with him. So I just think that he's just going to come here and just play with it's like with no regard, because it's like I'm not expected to be an 18-12 guy. I'm just expected to do anything to help the team win. And all the pressure's on Bron, AD, and Kuzma. That's our big 3. I'm just here to play ball and give the best I can. And I think that type of pressure off of him, like all those other teams, most of them, they gave him a press conference, where the Lakers just stay far away from a press conference with this guy and just say, hey, he's part of the team. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers don't really give press conferences to anybody at this point right now. So that's, just how they kind of do things. But he also is not going – I just can't see him being that guy that you want him to be. And think about it for a second. You want him – you're saying I have 3 head coaches that are going to be able to keep him – why do you need 3 head coaches plus LeBron, plus AD, plus Rondo, plus JaVale McGee, plus whoever the hell else you want to go to that need to really be able to be there to rail him in? This team is supposed to be different moving forward. Last year they were a team, and I'll get you there. Last year they were a team that they didn't really have much direction, especially when guys got hurt. Now it's supposed to be like, look, this is more of a workman-like attitude behind them. They all are there for a championship. They're all here to be. We're just gonna go. It's gonna be a well-oiled machine, and we're gonna go. Putting a guy like that in there to be a piece that doesn't know how to be a role player really, really worries me, and that's why I think Joakim Noah would have been the right choice. Whether or not he could have played, I understand that Joakim Noah did PEDs to get back into the league, and I'm totally against it. But the fact of the matter is, he would have been here as a role player. He's always been a role player. He knows what that role is. He does pick and roll. He plays good defense. He sets good screens. He does the things that a role player does, where Dwight Howard has never, ever been on board to do that. So I just don't see how he's going to all of a sudden change into that.
And part of something I heard was I guess he had his workout with the Lakers I think Thursday, and he showed up to the facility on Wednesday, the day before, to kind of like practice on his own. But this is the slick part about Dwight Howard. He showed up and there was players there. So I'm assuming like LeBron and some of the other guys were probably there, and he was just sitting there working out, and they're watching this dude in probably great physical shape, just doing his thing out on the court. He was smart enough to know, like, I need to get in front of these other guys, rather than talk to Rob, I need to get in front of these guys as well. Like I said, I'm not going to say he's the key to the championship, but I just think he's low risk, high reward. Same as Boogie,
Yep. And I agree. I think that low risk, high reward is that if it just doesn't work, he's terrible, it stinks, he's a bad locker room guy. Just get him the hell out of there. Keep him far away from the Lakers. He can go overseas and play somewhere. But if he can just be partially productive, and I just think that, man, with his back against the wall, he's going to have to accept his role and just give us the best that he has. And that should be good enough to keep him on the team for the entire year and be a piece that can help. He's just going to be a piece. We don't need him to be a main guy. We just need him to be, a piece of the puzzle.
I get it. And he's like you said, Ray, he's smart, and he showed up a day before.
Yeah.
And everywhere that he's gone, he's been smart and said the same thing. Google right now, Dwight Howard humble. It will tell you everything you know. Every stop that he's been in, he says, I've been humbled. I'm going to accept my role. I've been humbled. I'm going to accept my role. And until that actually happens, hey, look, your mouth's got ears. Like, hopefully it actually happens. But if it doesn't happen, I don't believe it's going to. I just see this being a bad divorce, and we've lost out on everybody else that could have been a better role player in these situations.
Yeah, oh, for sure, dude. It's gonna go up in a complete dumpster fire, possibly. But I'm here for either way. Either way. But you know what? I am gonna, as soon as he goes up for that first block and just blocks it into the first row, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna turn right at Greg like.
Yeah.
That one time. And then the first time that he blows up, I'm gonna be like, Ray, look at this. He's blowing up.
I'm like,
hey, look. Then the next 50,000 other times throughout the year that he blows up, I'm gonna say, hey, Ray, guess what happened again?
Hey, so
where's Mo Spates?
Hey, my question is he gonna start? Do you go him or JaVale?
No, JaVale's got to start. I heard they promised him that he was going to be starting.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard that when he signed, even with Boogie there, that he was going to be the starter. So, I mean, and like starter and finisher are two different things, right?
Yeah.
So, like the guy that starts and plays 20 to 25 minutes doesn't actually mean that he's going to be on the floor when the game is over. Boogie was going to be the guy that possibly, depending on the situation, would have been on the floor at the end. Kuzma is going to be on the floor at the end, but he may not start, whether now with Boogie injured, what actually happens there. But I still think the best place for Kuzma is going to be as a six-man and playing at the end of games, like Lamar Odom did, which everybody loves to go towards. But it was the same type of role where he comes in, just destroys off the bench, and you play him at the end of games along with the other big guns.
Recently, actually, as recent as today, this morning, because of an ankle injury. But what do you guys think about the fact that Kuzma's going to be left off the team? You guys think that's the right move, or?
Man, I honestly feel after watching them play against Australia, and it was embarrassing that they took that loss. They made Patty Mills look like Steph Curry, which is craziness. But he would have helped the U.S. team because of his athleticism, his three-point shooting. He added more length, and just a guy who's just out there playing to prove something. So it's going to suck. He's not going to be there. I think it's going to partially hurt the USA team. And then I wanted him there because, man, the best way to get better is not playing at all these open runs and doing all that stuff where you're Devin Booker and you don't want to be double teamed and stuff like that. That playing in games like these that mean so much for the players who are playing for their country would have only made him a better player going into the season. So that's what sucks. I'm hoping that he's okay. From the things I've been hearing, I'm hearing that it's not too bad, but it's just going to suck. He's not going to get that experience of playing, FIBA basketball.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's kind of both ways. I'm upset that he is gone because of everything that Mykell was saying, that, he would have been better. Klay Thompson came back from playing at Team USA and said, it just made me a better player. And he actually looked good in that first game against Australia, where he went 4 of 5. 4 or 5 from 3 and had 12 points and looked really good. And he actually had a couple blocks in the limited time that he was on the floor. He looked good. But it sucks that that's going to happen. I'm okay with it at the same time, because now he can come back and he can start playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis and all the rest of the guys, Danny Green, all the other guys, to really start moving forward towards a championship this year. A lot of guys left from Team USA because they wanted to join their teams and push forward towards a championship. So while it sucks that he's not going to be there and we're not going to be able to see him on Team USA and getting that experience and being a better player that way, I like the fact that he's going to be back with the team and not having to, be traveling around and doing that whole thing. He actually can just work now.
With his guys, yeah.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you guys, man? Do you guys remember last season? Do you guys remember what happened last season? You guys remember this little thing that happened, like a string of injuries we had? And yeah, you did. Yeah, you definitely did.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, this is the best thing that could have happened, because prior to this whole thing that happened with the pod last week, I actually had this topic already on there. Should Kuz pull out, because De'Aaron Fox was pulling out, PJ Tucker. I didn't like the fact that he was there, especially when Boogie went down, just because it reminded me, like, as soon as Boogie went down, it triggered me, like, just like that, this whole thing can change. If Kuzma goes down, that's literally just like an ankle tweak to AD or LeBron, and we're like back in the same predicament as last year, I believe. And I'm not saying the exact same predicament, but one thing leads to another, and it's just history always repeats itself. I just can't imagine that we would want him out there. It's not the redeem team. We're not out there trying to prove anything. We're just, going about the same old USA team thing that we do every year, which is annihilate all these other countries. And I don't think we need to have Kuzma out there at this point, man. Let's get a chip first, and then he can go and like suit up as much as he wants.
Yeah.
But he's not going to. He's not going to, though, because when he goes, it's in 2020 is going to be the Summer Olympics. He's not making that team. That team is going to have LeBron and Steph and Clay and AD and everybody else that you are talking about. He's not making that team. This was his chance to play for Team USA. He's not getting that chance again for at least 4 years. So
for most of those guys, like this is their opportunity, because once the big boys come, they have no chance to play. So for Kuz, it was like, this is your opportunity to get better. He may not even be invited to the training camp.
No, he won't. He won't. So
it sucks that he's going to miss out on this opportunity. But like you said, Greg, he gets to go with the Laker guys, and they can work, start working out together, build that chemistry, and try to make this push for a championship, because LeBron doesn't have too much longer to go. Father Time is undefeated. We saw Kobe averaging 26, 5 and 5 at about 34, and we were like, oh man, he got this for 2 or 3 more years.
Mm-hmm.
Then it happened. He never was the same. So it's like, we have to try to attack right now, right away, and we need everybody there that can help.
Yeah. And I mean, and as far as that goes, we need all the help we can get. And obviously the season is 82 games. So I think our main focal point this upcoming season is obviously going to be just trying to get these guys through the season. And that kind of scares me a little bit. I know the NBA schedules got released about a week and a half ago. And there's ESPN came out and they ranked the Lakers, 5th, I think, in the West or something like that. So there's been a lot of talk about this upcoming season, but what would you guys say that you're most looking forward to this season?
Man, I'm just looking forward to the opening night game and the Christmas Day game against the Clippers, and I want them to just beat the hell out of them.
Annihilate them.
That's all that I want. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. Just seeing those games are going to be so fun to watch. It's just because they're going to be going at each other, and it's going to be good defense, and everybody's going to want to get that win. Even one team may blow them out one game, but the next game, the other team blows out the other team. It's going to be just a great time to watch. It's an easy one to pick, but Lakers, Clippers at Staples, easy.
The games for me that I'm looking for, of course, Lakers, Clippers. Martin Luther King Day, I'm excited to see them play at Boston. I think Boston has a team that's going to be, a bit surprising with Kemba Walker over there, Enes Kanter. They're away from Kyrie. so they won't have that guy holding back, or that won't be their excuse. And then the other matchup for me is them versus Philly, because I think that can be the preview of the NBA Finals. I just think that with Ben Simmons improving his jump shot, Horford over there, Richardson there, that I'm going to love to see those guys match up. And Anthony Davis versus Embiid is going to be a crazy matchup. Ben Simmons versus LeBron. So those will be the matchups that I'm looking for the most.
Yeah, see, and there's not a specific matchup that I'm looking forward to per se, but there's a specific moment that I'm really looking forward to this season. And it's going to be probably somewhere around like February. It's going to be when LeBron passes up Kobe. Even points. I just want to see how Laker Nation is going to react to this.
That's a tough one, man.
Because right now, going into the season, I'm just saying, like, going into the season, Kobe's at 33,643, right? And LeBron's coming in at 32,543 points. So I did the math at about 20 points a game. And about 20 points a game, it leaves you in around, like, beginning of February. So there's, like, a bunch of different games, Milwaukee, the Clippers, that could fall in that range. So I'm just interested to see how Laker Nation is going to react, man, because is that going to be, like, the final peg for Laker Nation to kind of just be like, screw LeBron if he doesn't bring us a chip? Or is that kind of the thing that kind of pushes everybody over into the into transforms people from the Kobe Desians, right, as they call them, to LeBron stands?
I'm hoping that happens on the road, because I don't think Laker fans will be able to
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, LeBron's gonna get, he's gonna pass a lot of people in these different categories. But if he doesn't win a ring with the Lakers, he goes down as a disappointing Laker. Like, every Laker great has won a championship, other than Elgin Baylor, who ended up getting a ring once he retired early and he got that ring. But other than Elgin Baylor, he will be the only guy. And the Laker fans already have our issues with LeBron, just because it was Kobe LeBron, who's better. They had the Nike commercial with the and things like that. So he has to win a ring. I don't care about none of these. You have to bring the Lakers a championship. The Clippers can have a parade before the Lakers. Oh, it's going to be all hell breaking loose, man.
We don't even bring that up. That's not even a thing. That doesn't exist. All right. So when he goes, if LeBron passes, when LeBron passes Kobe, whether it's at Staples or it's on the road, I just feel like he's gonna get his just due. I mean, everyone's gonna stand and they're gonna clap, and it's gonna be nice. There might be some people that are gonna be upset because they love Kobe so much, which is totally understandable. But I just don't think that it's not gonna be anything that's gonna push people away from Kobe. I mean, look, you're on Showtime for him, man. What have these numbers looked like on Kobe's birthday on Friday, and then 8/24 for Kobe Day? You think that those 2 days were not some of our biggest days on the website, on everything? It's because of Kobe. You play Kobe and you do well. So nobody's ever forgetting Kobe, but they're going to give LeBron his just due. And I agree with Mykell. He does need to win a championship. Otherwise, he is just a Cleveland Cavalier. And he's just a Miami Heat. He is not a Laker if he doesn't win a championship.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's Jordan in Washington, which doesn't exist.
So let's say he doesn't win a chip or whatever, and that's the case. So he goes off into the sunset, and obviously Laker fans are going to say he was never a Laker great, which is completely justified. I get that. But now let's say we're into the second phase of the James gang, right? So now we got Bronny out there in the NBA, running around, right? So here's a hypothetical question that I want to run by you guys. So if you had to choose between Shaquille O'Neal and his son Sharif, if you had to pick between LeBron and Bronny or Kobe and Gigi Mambasita, which one of those pairs is going to have like a longer sustained like amount of success in their respective sport? Because I'm assuming Mambasita is going to be tearing it up in the WNBA.
For me, it's easy, man. I was able to go to the Drew League and see Sharif play. After the heart surgery, everybody didn't know what to expect. And he was balling. Like, that dude looked amazing. Shooting the three, the post game, the moves off the dribble. I just think this year at UCLA, we're going to really see that, man, this guy is a really, really great player. And I think that he has a chance to niche out a good, 10, 12, 14-year career as a very special wing player. Will he ever be a top 5, top 10 player? I don't think him neither. him nor Bronny will get to that level because it's tough to do, especially when your dad is such a big star to the matches. But I think that Sharif is going to be a hell of an NBA player.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I'm a huge UCLA fan, so if Sharif goes off, I'll be really happy. But I think of the three of them, to your point, to all the things you were saying about both Sharif and Bronny, that they will never make it to that top 5 player. Yeah. I think Gigi Mambacita will make it to a top 5 player in the WNBA. So if you have to go by those standards, then you're gonna find that Kobe, top 5 player in the NBA of all time. Whether you just say don't at me, I'm saying at me. I think also Mambacita is a top 5 player in the WNBA. She has Kobe teaching her and like learning that same Mamba mentality, which everybody loves to say, and learning how to play the game the right way. And she's already tearing up her leagues right now. So she's playing at the Mamba Academy, and she's doing all the things that are going to make her into a great player. And she seems to love the game. I think she's going to be a superstar in the WNBA. So you're going to have superstar. So I'm going Kobe Mambacita, GG.
All right, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go Bronny and LeBron, huh?
You don't have to.
I have to, man. This is the way this game works. All right, only one guy can take one pair. No, but honestly, like I get what you're saying with Gigi. Every time I see like a clip of Gigi, Kobe, that little girl is so freaking laser focused. Like all I see is Kobe. If I look at her face, I just see Kobe, the scowl, the focus, the drive. It's like there's nothing going on around her. You know, but I would probably go with Greg on that one. Yeah, I'd definitely have to say it'd have to be Kobe and Mambacita, just because. Yeah, I think both of them will be top 5. You can at Greg on it. You don't at me. You know, yeah. I mean, I'd have to go with Kobe and Mambacita myself as well. I can't see any other WNBA player with the same drive. Maybe, I mean, as long as Brittany Griner maybe can just kind of mellow out a little bit, I don't think she should have a problem. But
she's got some time. That's at Bergman Greg, by the way. People already think that it's my fault for everything, so I'm totally okay with that. So whether it's Dodgers, Lakers, it doesn't matter. People think that it's my fault that
you're the face, man.
Wins. Yeah,
you're the face of the fan. So when everybody wants to throw like a pie at the face of the fans,
throw a tomato.
Exactly. That you're catching all of that, man. That's
it's part of the gig. It's fine.
It's fine. So I told you, man, your social media is your social media is Jim Hill.
Yeah.
You're like everywhere.
Always get the first one.
Yeah, the first one, right? But you know, and we did have a contest that we ran last week for a couple of we pretty much put up a contest to win a t-shirt, a Showtime Forum t-shirt. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm pretty disappointed in Showtime Forum fam, because the instructions were tag it, drop a question. And I think we probably get a good 40, 50 submissions, but I think there's only like 2 or 3 people that actually put a question in there. So they didn't read it, right? So,
man, I mean, it was just want their shirts. They don't care about the question. They just want the shirt.
Well, obviously,
my whole wardrobe is free. That's what happens.
We did have a couple of questions in there, and I'll kind of modify them a little bit because I know now, obviously, they were thinking this was going to happen on Thursday, but it didn't. So, you know, R. Henderson 311 came out there and just said, you know, do you think the Lakers should have signed a big man now, or should they have waited till training camp got going to see what needs were going to be needed at the time?
I think you got to go out and just go grab someone now so they can start playing and working with LeBron, working with AD, working with JaVale, and learning their role, right? So if that's, yes, you had to go out now, and you find out now if Dwight Howard doesn't work with these guys, then you have to let him go. And maybe you go try out somebody else and you try and get Joakim Noah in there, however it works. But you need to get these guys in now. It's not something to wait around for anymore. You need to get to championship level now. So go out and get someone.
And then we ended up having another question as well by Laker Unfiltered. And they asked pretty much, why would we want Dwight? Why would we want to retread with Dwight Howard, and why isn't the real answer the Manimal? So I'll leave that one for you, Mykell. What do you think, man? Why wouldn't we have gone with Fareed instead of Dwight?
Just because of the size factor. You know, we had Boogie, who was a 6'11" guy, you know, and we lose him. And Fareed is about 6'8", and Dwight is another 6'11" guy. So just the size factor, because we want that to be our advantage this year, is the fact that we can kill you inside. You know, it looks like the Warriors are going to take a step back. So it's not going to be as much as shooting the three balls. Can you attack inside? Like, if it's going to come down to Lakers Clippers, the way that we beat them is the fact that their bigs are Montrezl Harrell and Zubac, to where we can say, man, we got Anthony Davis, we got JaVale McGee, we got Dwight Howard, and then even LeBron can play down there. So that's why you go Dwight Howard.
With that being said, R. Hernandez, 311, and Laker Unfiltered will go ahead and I'll shoot you a DM, and we'll get your shirts out to you as soon as possible. And I want to thank you guys for submitting your questions. Everybody else who didn't, I'm sorry. You know, I hate to say it, man. You just got to read the questions sometimes, man. You know, but there'll be some more. There'll be some more. So hopefully you guys will enter into future raffles. But like I did say at the beginning of the podcast, this is going to be the final episode of this first season for Showtime Forum podcast. Greg will actually be picking back up again with the Showtime Forum, so you guys will be able to catch him with the post-game coverage and all that as the season starts up. And, we'll be back up about 30 to 60 days. Got some stuff we got to settle, but we'll definitely be back with that. I want to thank Mykell for joining us today, man. We're going to wrap it up right here. Obviously, Mr. Bergman, I appreciate you joining us as well. If you haven't, and if you haven't checked us out already, catch Greg on. That's you, Greg.
Oh, on tomorrow, actually on Monday. On Monday, I will be going live at 7 p.m. Pacific time for the Showtime Forum, where it's a show all about you guys. Where if you have whatever questions you got, I will sit back and answer, and we'll have a discussion. This is the only place that you're going to be able to ask whatever you want, and you will get your name read and answered. So come on to the Showtime Forum tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific time.
For sure. And then we can obviously catch Mykell Courtside with Courtside Hoops Radio and Don't At Me.
Yeah, so once again, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, Mykell the PD. Courtside Radio, you can find it on the Good News Radio app. If you can check us out live every Thursday, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Then if you miss us, not only are we a radio show, we're a podcast show. So you can check us out on that very same app, or you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And Don't At Me, you can find us on, you can subscribe to Alexander Hines on YouTube, to where you can watch all of our shows there. Man, I thank you guys so much for having me. I love what you guys have going, man. Hey, keep doing what you guys are doing, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I love what you guys are doing over there as well, man. And obviously, if you guys want to continue to follow us here, if I haven't already disappointed you, you can add us at Showtime Forum. We're on Twitter, Instagram, everything, right? But the podcast you can obviously find on all the links below. It's iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Anchor. You can find us on all that stuff. You know, listen, rate, reviews, share it with your friends, whatever you got to do. Just thank you for supporting us this first season. It's grown, honestly, a lot more than I thought it was going to grow so quickly. I don't know. I can't really say too much about it other than the fact that I'm very grateful for the support you guys have given us. And hopefully we can keep improving the show and, just kind of getting some content out there that you guys want to listen to.
Yes, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, so with that being said, guys, I will catch you guys in season 2. I'll see what's going on with the Lakers at that point, right? Hopefully no more injuries. But, here's knocking on wood. Oh, shit, I think I just woke up my wife. Never mind.
Oops.
Yeah, my bad. All right, well, anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate it again. And that's going to wrap it up for us.
Yeah,
Deuces.
thank you.